I can't imagine growing up without any sort of leagues to play in. Just because that was such a huge part of my childhood and what I did for fun and how I stayed fit and how I made friends. I think it's a huge part of my community personally growing up. Throughout your life, you have to have that ability to work in a team and to work with other people.
Well, I think sports gives particularly young student athletes a chance to learn to socialize, participate, have a sense of belonging, have exercise, have a positive outlet. And I think for kids, it's the foundation for relationships as their life goes on. And it's really critical for the development. Sports themselves eliminates barriers. I mean, it creates a sense of, we're together, black, white, Asian, whatever it is. You've got a way of bringing people together for a common purpose, and that's for the team and for the involvement. And I think it creates values in kids today that you may not get elsewhere.
To go to Rwanda is to me to be emotionally involved in Rwanda. You go there and you see the genocide sites, and I don't think there's anyone on earth that could go there and not care about these people and about what they've done. I've been in places where 10,000 people died in small churches, tiny small churches where I couldn't imagine 10,000 people fitting. 10,000 people have died. And I've talked to the survivors of those churches, and they told us, their stories and how they've gotten through it, and just the resiliency that they have to tell their stories every day, just so that people know what happened to them. And so there's just an atmosphere there that you can't help but be involved in. I spent 6 weeks this past summer, in the summer of 2008, just living with a family in Rwanda, getting to know them, getting to know the culture, kind of living like an African, and just really getting to experience their needs and their wants. And I was just hanging out, just chilling with this guy. He's like, yo, you like to play basketball? Well, you need to meet my friend Olivier. He likes to play basketball too. So Olivier and it took us 45 minutes, but we went and found a basketball court, because there's like 8 courts in the entire city of Kigali, which has 1 million people. And we went and we played. It was during, in between one of the games, it was a 3-on-3 game. We were just chilling. He started telling me his vision of sports outreach in Rwanda and what he wanted to do with sports outreach. And I had never told him anything about my ideas of coming in and doing some sort of sport outreach. The reason behind sports is, one, it cuts across a lot of the boundaries that have kind of been set up in Rwanda. There's a lot of hatred still between the Hutu and the Tutsis, even though they don't really talk about those names anymore. There's just so much hurt and pain there, and sports just kind of brings people together in a way a lot of other things can't, and it kind of heals resentment. And then we also see it as a way to bring mentorship to children. It's not the only way to bring mentorship, but it is a powerful way that a lot of people have received mentorship. And we really just see a need for those kids, because so many have lost parents to genocide or AIDS and other things like that. And so we just really see just a need for that country to grow, for those kids to have positive adult influences in their lives. I think the biggest success for us is training Rwandans to be able to do this. That's my biggest goal, because we're gonna hit kids. We're gonna, if we go to a soccer field, we go to a basketball court and we bring balls, we can run camps, we can teach them stuff, we can impact their lives and make it a better day for them. But at the end of the day, if we do that and we leave, it's like another group of Americans came through here, because it happens so much, and they left nothing for us to do. And so my biggest thing is, if we can get just this mentorship program started just very basically, that's the biggest thing I want. Overall, we're in it for the kids. It's a social program, but it's a sports program too. And so we're doing sports, and we're hoping to change the world through the sports and through some of our meetings outside of sports. The facilities here, of course, are a lot nicer. When you coach soccer here, every kid brings their own ball. Every kid's got a ball, and every kid has their parents there, has their parents coaching them, showing them how to do stuff, even at 3 and 4. Whereas in Rwanda, there's not a lot of parents, first of all. And the parents that are there are involved in their kids' lives to a degree, but probably not in the realm of extracurriculars that they are here. And then kids have nothing, they have like rag balls, or they have, if they're lucky, balls made out of banana leaves, or really, really flat balls, because no one's got a pump. And so how long is a ball gonna last when it's hitting rocks all day? And so the facilities are sometimes close to where they live, sometimes kind of far. There's no real structure. There's a few coaches, but I don't really know how much they know. Whereas when we did soccer here, we have like 8-10 coaches coaching different kids, for like one coach per like 10 kids, one coach per 5 kids, with assistant coaches. Whereas there you have maybe one coach for like 100 kids.
I'm gonna be responsible for the leadership development over there. So like what that means is pretty much we're gonna be teaming up community leaders in Kigali, which is the nation's capital, which is where we'll be stationed. And I'm gonna be over there for the first week, teaching them a 5-day crash course of how to do sports camps. Understanding that it's not about wins and losses, but because you're gonna have defeats in life, but how to deal with them appropriately, knowing how to be courteous to one another, even if you're opposing teams. A whole bunch of things I think you can gain out of it, and more importantly, can you teach them the bigger focus of the sports? Because it's not just about sports, but it's about just building up them as individuals, as people.
We're working with volunteers, and that can sometimes be hard because everybody has their own schedule. And so it's kind of hard to juggle everyone's schedule and still get the work done in the right amount of time.
Things for Play for Hope have been difficult lately. We've lost 3 team members that were supposed to go to Rwanda in the last 2 weeks. My computer has crashed after I didn't save a bunch of Play for Hope work. We've had other computers crash with a bunch of Play for Hope work right after they were completed. And I've trying to salvage a silent auction right now. To be honest, we haven't been doing too much with corporations anymore. Corporations aren't giving. And so we've kind of moved on. We're doing a few small businesses that have agreed to help us. But as far as major corporations go, it's a dead end. It gets hard to continue doing this, to continue having people initially care about what we're doing, and then to realize that they don't actually really care or are volunteering to help with this or that, and then it just kind of falls by the wayside. And that's just been the story, like overall, not just like one person or one thing, but it's just been thing after thing. And so yeah, it gets old. It gets really tiring to do this kind of work. In those small moments where I get to spend with the kids in Rwanda and you get to really interact with them and get to know them, I don't know if I want to say it makes it worth it, but it makes it worth something fighting for. It's worth fighting for those kids, because you see so much hope in them and such an opportunity in them that you don't see a lot of times in adults, and you see a future that if you could just salvage and just get a few people on board, you could change more than you could ever imagine.